How we doing, YouTube? Stevie here. February 7th, here from the cab of the Volvo. Just a little quick video today. Had a pretty good day of trucking, although it was a late start. But for those of you that don't know, that's what I do for a living. I drive truck. But um, just a little quick comment on Joe Rogan and Whoopi Goldberg. Um, you should be able to have a dialogue with somebody, whether it's in private or on a public stage like those folks, and and be able to say what you're thinking. And sometimes what you're thinking might be wrong, but that's all part of the process. And people on the left, especially, they like to say that uh, we need to have a conversation. We need to have more conversation. Whenever anything happens, they want to have a conversation. Well, you can have a conversation if one side or the other is afraid that if they say something that it could get their whole career and existence in terms of on the internet eliminated. Um, and if you and I were to have a conversation about something, um, there's a chance that I might say something that isn't right. I may think it's right, but it might not be right. Well, if I'm wrong, that doesn't make me racist. It doesn't make me a homophobe. It doesn't make me a sexist. It doesn't make me anti-American. It just makes me wrong. And and although Whoopi Goldberg, I don't believe would give Joe Rogan this grace, she deserves it anyway because the freedom of speech is a freedom given to people to speak. It- There's no such protection keeping people from having to hear. And if I walk down the street and somebody's saying an atheist is screaming on the corner that heaven isn't real, I can't go to the constable or somebody and tell them to make him shut up. He has every right to spout his craziness, and I have every right to not listen. But because I don't want to hear it doesn't mean he's not allowed to say it. And the other thing, I think it's important when we judge people to judge them on the totality of their life and of their work, and not a fragment of it where they may have been at their worst. Um, Joe Rogan has said some things that he wished he wouldn't have said, whatever the context was. Um, but I think we need to be willing to accept that. I'm not going to hold what Whoopi said last week over her head for eternity. You either accept the apology or you don't accept the apology, but then we all move on. And folks that are the people that are offended really aren't offended. How can you be offended by words? Now, granted, I'm sure that they'll be giving examples of how you can be, but I mean, let's be realistic. The people that are mad at Joe Rogan for what he said never listen to Joe Rogan. So, because somebody dug up some stuff and played it on the internet, you're oppressed now. Look back at what oppression really was. Um, and and we used to use the term snowflake, um, but whatever term you want to use, we got to toughen up. And like I said, I don't think they're really offended. They just are using this as an opportunity to try to get somebody off the air and silence other folks. And if you're a person like me who does a little bit on YouTube like this, or just in your own private life, um, you don't want to be canceled because of something you said, or especially something that you said 20 years ago. We shouldn't be held to that standard. 20 years ago was a different standard than it is today. So I think bit of forgiveness will go a long way. And giving forgiveness and people accepting forgiveness, and then ignoring people that won't. Very few people make a lot of noise on the internet. Less than 10% of all social media. So let's say social media is 100%. All social media, Facebook, YouTube, um, Rumble, all of it, Twitter, Instagram. 10% of the users of the internet, or of social media like that, I should say, only 10% create that whole 100% of content. So, and of that 10%, a very small number of that even are the ones that create these big campaigns of being offended. Most of those aren't even really people. They're bots, or they're small groups that multi send out these messages to corporations or advertisers. We just need to tell those people to shut up and get over it. Otherwise, they'll ruin our country. That's on both sides of the aisle. Um, this is not a one side or the other. There's plenty on both sides. But anyway, that's just a little quick video today to talk about Joe Rogan, and mostly Joe Rogan, but Whoopi Goldberg too. And hope everybody's doing well, and God bless. And we will talk again soon. And I hope everybody had a good weekend.